Good morning and happy Monday to you. My name is LaShonda Brown, and welcome to Bootstrap Biz Advice Live, where I teach service providers how to do less manually to live a more fulfilling life by leveraging tech. So, today I am going to be talking about all things AI, and we're going to specifically talk about how I run my business on autopilot. So there are some business operations systems that I utilize that I want to kind of show you. When I tell you there are so many tools out there that are incredible that I thought it would be better if I kind of grouped them together and kind of tackled a few in one live stream. So I am going to do my best to speak slowly, share the links, share my screen, but we're going to walk through this, and I think this is going to be extremely valuable to you. Another thing that I do want to make clear is if you look in the description of this video, I have actually already linked the tools that I'm going to be going over. However, I do include them on my tools page. So, one of the things that I like to do is when I find a tool that I like, number one, I become an affiliate if they have a program because I know I'm going to refer it. And why not get commission for referring tools to my audience? But the other thing that I'll do is I'll usually reach out to them to see if I can get an exclusive discount for my community. So, the best place for you to go to see all of the discounts that I've negotiated. At one point, I attempted to make a Bootstrap coupon book, and it just got so long and so complicated to keep up with that I made a landing page on my website and everything is linked there. So while I do have the individual links, so if you see something that you're like, oh my gosh, I want to click and go right now, you can click in the description, but you can always go to lashondabrown.com/tools. Now, the other thing I want to make sure you're aware of is your likes mean everything to me. Okay. Some of you may be new, but for those of you who've never heard this, the majority of my income actually comes from the tech companies. And that is how I'm able to keep things affordable for my students. So, what the tech companies pay for is for exposure to my audience. So, when you like my videos, they get seen by more people. My views grow, my subscribers go. And so when brands do partnerships with me, they reach more people. So literally, you can help keep my prices low by just engaging with my content. So engaging could look like a like, it could look like a share, it could just look like comments throughout the live stream. So if you want to just comment, first of all, it helps me so I don't feel like I'm just talking to myself, but you can comment, you can like, and that is a fantastic way for you to support the channel for free. Also, many of these links, not all of them, but many of the links that I have are affiliate links. So I do receive a small commission for referring you to these companies. So I just want to be fully transparent about it. I am an open book. I am the affiliate marketing queen. So if that's something that you want to get into so that you have less pressure to sell your students hard and you can focus more on delivery, let me know. I will probably end up doing like a deep dive masterclass on this at some point because I do get asked about this a lot. So I just wanted to kind of set the tone with that. The other thing is we are going to follow up the live stream with time codes. So that way, if you want to go back in the replay to a specific section, you can click on the time codes in the description once we finish this, and you'll be able to skip right to it, kind of like the DVD chapters on DVDs. Okay. So I believe that is all of the housekeeping. We will be going live on Friday as well for our co-working sessions. These have been so helpful for me. It helps me to just kind of land the plane at the end of the week, clean things up, get things scheduled. And so if you are planning your week today, it is Monday morning and you need some accountability, you want some community, I actually do this for free on the channel simply because it increases my watch time and it's a great way for me to engage my subscribers. So the best thing for you to do is for you to subscribe to the channel and actually turn that notification bell on so that you receive notifications when I go live. I don't always go live again on Friday. And so that way you will know when I am live on the channel. So before we hop into our tools for today to help you with business operations, I want to share a little bit more about my email newsletter, which is called the Bootstrap Club. This live stream is brought to you by the Bootstrap Club. Some things never make it to Instagram, and for that level of small biz realness, join the club. When you join the Bootstrap Club for free, you'll start getting access to my behind the scenes emails about my pivot from being a burnout service provider to a mindful full-time content creator. I share my ups and downs in this private format because I think it's important to be transparent if I'm going to be the mentor that I always wanted. Thousands of people from all around the world have joined the club to receive my strategy emails, and I would love for you to join us. To sign up, go to LaShondaBrown.com, click on Join the Bootstrap Club, drop your name and email address, and I will add you to the list. I hope you have a blessed Monday, and I look forward to chatting with you soon. So thank you so much to everyone who has wished me a good morning in the comments. I really appreciate that, and for saying hello. So we are going to kick off the conversation with, let's see, which one do I want to start with? I'm going to actually start with this, OG, okay? Let's talk about Calendly. Now, I tend to not put tech tools side by side. Okay. My friend Phil, he will do this all the time. He doesn't care. He will literally say, this is better than this, and this is why. Very rarely will I do this, but I'm going to be honest with you. Calendly is the best online scheduler, hands down. And I used to be an Acuity girl. I kind of need to go back and do an updated video, to be honest with you. One of the things that makes Calendly such an incredible tool is the fact that so many people are using it. So there are more and more practical integrations for Calendly that back in the day didn't exist. Acuity was also purchased by Squarespace. And so Squarespace scheduling is really a rebrand of Acuity. So I used to be an Acuity girl. I loved that they were, super helpful for HIPAA compliance and all these big boy business things. But I'm telling you, Calendly and I are best friends. I downloaded the Calendly app on my cell phone. If you haven't done that, strongly encourage you to do it. And I also want to show you two other integrations that are a lifesaver. Okay. So let me go ahead and start the process of sharing my screen. Again, I'm going to try to go slow. If you have questions, we're going to do one tool at a time. I'll look in the comments for questions about that tool, and then we will move on to the next one. I will do like a really quick break to kind of give you some behind the scenes about stuff happening in my business, and then we'll hop back into it. Okay. So let me go ahead and share. I tried to open up some tabs before this to help us be a bit more efficient. All right, but let me show you my email with Calendly. Okay. So this is first and foremost, this is built into Gmail that you can add in templates. So if you're not rocking templates, you definitely need to do your templates. Let me put myself over here so I don't cover it up. So my templates are not cute. They're not organized well. I'm not even going to lie to you. But if I were to click on these three dots here, I can go over to templates, and I've got all these little templates of emails that I send a lot that I can just drop it in. It drops in the subject, it drops in the body, and then I can just go in and modify that. So that's bare bones. We all email in our business. I don't care what you're doing. And so if there are things that you have not templatized, go ahead and do it. And the best way to make your email templates is for you to actually give more information than you need so you can take away details that don't apply versus having to search your mind for what you need to include. Okay. So I have learned that over the years, it is better to dump so much into your template and just be able to remove than to try to remember. Same thing goes for upload defaults on YouTube. When I go into YouTube, my upload defaults have all the things, and I eliminate the disclosures, the disclaimers that aren't necessarily for that particular video. Okay, so that's just a side note. If you're not doing that, make sure you do that. If you want a tutorial about how to set up email templates in Gmail, and you are watching this live or watching in the replay, just say email templates in the comments. Okay. So throughout this, I will probably give you keywords to comment. some of the things that I think are interesting, you may not be interested in. So your feedback and your engagement is really helpful to help curate what I take the time to record. So again, if you want to know how I set up the templates in my Gmail, just put email templates in the comments. Typically if I see at least 4 or 5, then I know there's enough people that are interested in it that I'll make the tutorial. Now, Calendly is incredible because it integrates directly in Gmail. So, how many times has someone asked you, "Hey, are you available at XYZ?" And you're searching your calendar, trying to figure out, "I don't know if I'm available. I don't want to double book myself, yada, yada, yada." So, if you connect your calendar to Calendly, you will not double book yourself. And if you want to suggest times, you can just click directly in your email for your event types. You can pull up your most used event types. You can do a one-off meeting. And so the one-off meeting will look a little bit like this. And so, you can pick a one-off meeting time, or we'll go back here. Make sure you guys can see this. Now, this is going to be the one thing. All these things have pop-up windows. So I have to make sure you guys can see everything I'm talking about. Okay. So you see at the bottom, you have event types, one-off meetings, and you can do meeting polls. Y'all, back in the day, I was using a separate site. Y'all know I was a doodle girl. I love a good doodle poll. You can do your meeting polls directly in Calendly. So if you are trying to schedule a group of people for a meeting, you can start the poll directly in Calendly, and then it will end up on your calendar. Okay. So I love this. And you can even suggest meeting times in here as well. So if I were to go back to this tab and I were to say here, I want to do a coffee chat for 15 minutes, I can either just insert the link directly into the email, it automatically drops in the appropriate link, or I could say, you know what, I do want to do a coffee chat, but I want to offer some time slots. And so Calendly, through the power of AI, will look in my calendar and it will decide on some slots. If I like the slots, I can just say finish and share. It's going to copy to my clipboard. And this is what I love. Check this out. I can just paste it directly in the freaking email. Y'all, I love this. I love this integration. I think this is freaking brilliant. And the amount of times that I use this, I mean, multiple times a week for sure, probably daily, because there are so many times where a quick 15-minute conversation would save me 20 emails. You guys know I only work 20 hours a week. So every little bit of time saved adds up. So this is what I'm loving right now with Calendly. I love offering the time slots. I love being able to just click and add in the link to, book whatever call I'm trying to book. And here is the nutty thing. I don't know how I missed this before, but I was like, when did they do that? Okay, here we go. Let me show you. I'm going to hop over here just to my messages on LinkedIn. And if you're not following me on LinkedIn, what are you doing? I'm in love with it. I do a lot of content there. You're missing out. If you look at the bottom of your LinkedIn messages, they even have the integration in LinkedIn. So if you are using LinkedIn to network, and you are trying to set up coffee chats to kind of follow up on people that have been in your comments or have sent you a DM, again, you don't need to leave LinkedIn in order for you to offer them time on your calendar. You can just click and go. And this is not just about you booking time on your calendar. You can set it up where people have to pay in order to formally go on your calendar. How many times have you had to chase people down for money for consultations or strategy calls or whatever you call it in your business because they scheduled the time, but then you were separately sending invoices? Calendly takes that out of the equation. You cannot book time on the calendar for your paid events until the payment is secured. Okay, not just invoiced, but secured. So you can connect it to Stripe, you can connect it to PayPal. But the reality of being able to say, Hey, would you like to do a power hour to make updates to your website? Love it. Here's the link to schedule time on my calendar. They go, they pick a time on the calendar, and before they can hit submit, it says $500 or whatever you charge. Not only do you get the $500 in your Stripe or PayPal, it gets added to your calendar and blocked out for the amount of time that you have set ahead of time. You can even add buffer time so your meetings don't bump up against each other and you're running around like a chicken with their head cut off. I mean, when I tell you just bliss, okay? You could seriously just run a business off of talking and having a Calendly. I'm very serious about that. Not only that, but you can schedule the reminders and you can decide what the reminder messages say. So if you are a business coach or consultant and people pay for their coaching session with you and you want them to fill out a questionnaire before the call, then once they book, their, receipt of them scheduling comes to them and you can have the link to the questionnaire or you can automatically redirect them to the questionnaire after they book the call. So let me show you a practical application of this on my site. And honestly, it works so seamlessly that half the time, like I just like forget it's like a thing. Um, so let me go over here. Let's see here. Look, y'all, it's been so long. Actually need to update it. So I'm not perfect, y'all. I'm really not, but I'm trying. By God's grace, I'm still here. I'm like, whoop, we got some old dates here, and that's fine. Okay, so let's go over here to my YouTube coaching page. Okay. First of all, y'all, I updated my website a couple months ago. And it just, the high quality photos. So my photographer, CJ, is now like on the team because I have realized that I used to have a stock photo business where I shot African American stock photos and I do my best storytelling with good imagery. And so I need good photos. And so we're doing at least 2 photo shoots a month, which is like murder on my skin. So my skincare routine is even more intense now, beside the point. Love that photo of me and Alan. All that to say. So this is a landing page that stays up on my site. So for those of you who don't know, I still do work with students. However, it's very limited. So these are my offers. So you can become a Bootstrap Star student, which is my workshop subscription. You can pay $10 a month. Every month, I will send you an invitation to an advanced workshop. They are incredible, both business and personal development to help you to be a more well-rounded business owner. Then, if you want more access to me, more hand holding, more community, more support, then you would join the Bootstrap creators. So these are business owners who are leveraging content marketing to grow their business. They're doubling down on Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube in an effort to generate more leads to their business in a mindful way. However, there are times where people are like, hey, sis, I just want to work with you one on one. I don't need to be in a group. I don't want to wait for a workshop. What else you got? This happens a lot when I go speak at conferences where, I'm in a room with people who are 6-figure, 7-figure business owners. Their time is super valuable. They run teams, so they're not really hurting for community. And so they're like, hey, I need coaching in the most efficient way possible. So having this set up and just literally leave it there has been such a godsend. Okay. So what happens is I created a page on my site that we were at before where I got a little distracted with that picture of me and Alan. But if you go over to coaching, this coaching page is going to talk you through the entire thing. You get an onboarding questionnaire, 60-minute strategy session, post-session support. And I phrase it this way: choose your own adventure. You can pay for the coaching session, or you can be a part of the content marketing membership. I would love for people to join the membership, but I understand for some people, they really just want a one and done, and that's totally fine. Okay. So if they click on that coaching session, what it's going to do is send them to Calendly. This was something I was testing out, and this is what I meant by like, I need to update it. So I was just doing a little test, seeing if I did something specifically with my email list, how would that affect my bookings? And so I'm going to go over here and say, for instance, I want to book a session on the 31st. So it's going to sign me up. Here's the information, name, email. I added, how did you find out about me? I need to know what is working with my marketing efforts. I want their mailing address if I decide to send them some physical mail at some point. They can even enter their cell phone number for text message reminders, but they don't have to do it. I don't make that required because some people, they don't want to do that. But then you scroll down, my friends, you see that? You can pay with your card or you can connect it to your bank. In some cases, I've connected to PayPal, depending on what it is. So, this is what I mean by they can't schedule the event until payment is secured. And then after that, they get all the information about the session and all that. So, the whole point in having a system like Calendly is to keep you from double booking yourself, to automate the booking process, and in some cases, even leverage AI to suggest what are good times for you to meet with people. A lot of that work in the past was probably done by a VA, secretary, admin assistant, and managing your calendar is not something that a human being needs to do at this point in the process. So that is when I say like the number one tool that I think people need to be utilizing. And even if people have a scheduler, they're not using it like that. They're not using it in LinkedIn. They're not using it in Gmail. They're still doing things manually and they've got their scheduler open in another tab. And so when you are looking for tech tools in your business, you really want to find tools that offer integrations. Zapier is phenomenal with helping tech tools talk to each other. Okay. If there aren't built in integrations with your tech tool, you can go and set up a Zap typically. Now, not every tech tool is in there, but a lot of them are. And so, what Zapier will do is say, okay, tell Google Sheets to talk to Calendly. And so, Zapier is the middleman and creates that integration between the two tools. And there's nothing wrong with that. However, you got to pay for Zapier. The more complicated your Zaps are, the more you got to pay. The more you use them, the more you got to pay. And ultimately, you're saving time when the tech companies have already made those partnerships and said, hey, we understand how our customers are using the software. Let's essentially build in a Zap versus making them build it from scratch. So that is what you need to search for when you're looking at your tech tools. Look at the top of the page. It's either at the top of the page in the navigation or in the footer. They will always say integrations. And integration simply means how much automation did they do for you versus what you're going to have to do for yourself. Okay. So I love that term. It's really helped me over the years to understand the value of it. In a lot of cases, like I said, you can pay for a lower subscription on Zapier because you're using tools with a lot more built-in integrations. So if your subscriptions costs are through the roof right now, it may be because you're using tools that aren't integrated well into how you run your business. Okay. So that's probably going to be the most complicated explanation so far. I love that we have a big live audience right now. For those of you who have popped in, make sure you like it. If you haven't liked it already, I'm going to go to the comments. It looks like y'all want those email template tutorials. Okay. So I'm going to clean up my tutorial. I'll clean up my inbox, I should say, to make a tutorial about how to create templates directly inside of Gmail. Okay. It's going to save you a ton of time. Okay. Integrating Calendly with Gmail is literally just part of the setup. So I can definitely show you in a tutorial, but that is just part of how you establish your new account. Because essentially what you're doing is you are giving that software permission to put things on your calendar and to remove things from your booking calendar based on your Google Calendar. Does that make sense? So if you block it out on Google Calendar, it won't be available on Calendly. And that's what keeps people from being double booked. So they're synced together. They're working hand in hand. So they mirror each other. So you decide on the time limits. You can say, like, say, for instance, I have 2 coffee chat links and I hate to be petty about it, but sometimes I'm doing a coffee chat with somebody I know, and sometimes I'm doing it with a stranger. If I am having a coffee chat with a stranger, I typically will only give them 15 minutes of my time because if things go sideways, I would rather have the expectation from the beginning that we're not fitting to be here for an hour. But if it's a friend and I'm doing a catch up session, girl, 45, we can run over. Cool. Love it. So even with coffee chats, I don't just have one coffee chat link. I have two virtual coffee chat links and an in person coffee chat link for people who actually know me. I still make my friends use my calendar link because it reminds them when we're having coffee together. It tells them where we're going to be, and it makes it easy for them to reschedule if life be life and they need to change the date. Okay? So even with personal stuff, I put it in Calendly because I don't want to get double booked for work because I'm trying to hang out with a friend. Okay? And I'll be honest with you, sometimes it takes people a minute to get used to like, what do you mean? I'm not paying you for anything. Why am I using your scheduling link? But when you say literally, I live my life by my calendar, and if you don't do it, I probably won't show up, then they're like, okay, thank you for humbly admitting that, the software is running your life. And I'm like, yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. So that's where I'm at. Okay. I'm seeing y'all want a tutorial on how to use Calendly optimally. Yes, because I do think, and now this is going to happen with literally everything I show you. I'm going to be poking at things that you never even noticed or didn't know existed. And that's why with certain software like Flowdesk and Canva, I did pursue becoming a partner and becoming a Canva verified expert so that they help keep me in the know as well, because software changes so fast. So happy to do one on Calendly. And I can add that to my list along with email templates. What I do want to do as well during the summer is start batching some of this content. So when things get even busier, when I start working on this big project in like the next month, then you guys will still get videos, even though I'm focused on something else. So this is really helpful. Okie doke, cool beans. So that was Calendly. Okay, this is gonna be super quick. Airtable. Okay. So Airtable, this is something that they're pushing these days. Their app platform is going to transform your data into custom interfaces, automations, and agents and help you to build custom collaboration apps effortlessly. So I love that for them. It's a whole lot of words. So let's see what that actually practically means for us busy business owners. So if you go to Airtable's site, I want you to see this. They have built-in templates. No shade to anybody selling Airtable templates right now. Templates are a fantastic way for you to generate passive income. So I'm not mad at it. However, they have gone in with building out the AI templates inside of Airtable. So you can see all these different categories for how you can use the software. Airtable is essentially like a spreadsheet on steroids. That's the best way to explain it. And it's really about helping you to capture data and then digest the data in forms that are useful to you. That's the simplest way I can put it. So, a practical example of me using Airtable in my business. So, as my members come into the membership for Bootstrap creators, there are things that I want to know about them. Now, I'm going to show you Jotform. So, there is a difference in this circumstance between what I'm doing in Jotform and what's happening in Airtable. And literally because of a singular feature, I saw Lex using it and I was like, girl, how'd you do that? And so I figured this out. So, here's the thing. If you look at this, you can see where I am capturing name, email address, job title, name of business, website. I added their elevator pitch. I've never seen this on a membership form. And I'm like, freaking brilliant. How would you describe what you do in a nutshell? Because there are often times where I would love to refer my members to other people, but I'm not sure what their unique selling proposition is because we haven't had like a deep dive conversation yet, especially if they're brand new. So from day one, my members are telling me this is what sets me apart. Yes, I'm a web designer. Yes, I'm a coach. Yes, I'm a consultant, but this is my superpower. And this is how I would like for you to pitch me if the opportunity presented itself. Then they're telling me what they're looking to grow in 2025. And that helps me to add them to the appropriate cohorts within the Bootstrap Biz Device app. So if you are trying to grow on LinkedIn, I'm not giving you YouTube suggestions in the app. I'm putting you in the appropriate channels based on this form. Are you interested in additional support? That helps me to know, do you actually want more support beyond just being in the group? Then, my friends, I'm asking for their headshot. I'm asking for their birthday, for their t shirt size. Because here's the thing, I got a vision. Okay. Where I am now is not where I will always be. And so, if I get this information from the very beginning, if I decide, which I have in the past, that I want to do custom t shirts for the members, or I want to start sending birthday cards to the members, or I want to send a gratitude card for Thanksgiving or a Christmas card, whatever. Now I have everything in that place. But here's the thing, I also wanted my members to have some of this information about each other. They don't need to know each other's birthdays. They don't need to know each other's physical mailing addresses, but the elevator pitches, what they're trying to grow, maybe even their headshot, that would be super useful. And so, what I was able to do literally within a click in Airtable is take that form and turn it into this table. So, every time someone adds in new information in the form, it comes into the table, but it also excludes the fields that I don't want to make public. Okay. So that's just a very blatant application of Airtable. Like I said, they have an extensive library of templates. So everybody's going to have something specific that they're looking for. But in my mind, I'm like, okay, when it comes to managing a membership and making people feel a sense of belonging, part of how you give them that sense of belonging is knowing more about them. But how do you scale that? You see the situation in mega churches all the time. You go in a church and you're with thousands of people, and yet you feel so alone because there aren't systems in place to give you that sense of belonging. What makes you feel like you belong? People knowing your name, people, including you on collaborations and asking you, people liking your posts and commenting and supporting what you're doing. All these different things happen when you essentially have more information about each other. But it's behind a paywall. It's not public to everybody. And so it's specific to your membership. Now, I will say you can, add in formulas for when members go, you can have them removed and all that stuff. I'm not using it to the full extent. But what I wanted was for me to capture that information about my members and for my members to have a member directory, so they could get all that information about each other. Some membership apps have this stuff built in. I really like the way that Airtable displayed it. And so that is how I'm practically using it in my business. So again, sometimes when you're leveraging AI, you're only using the AI to munch on the data, not to come up with the original idea. The idea for me was cultivate a sense of belonging by leveraging tech. How am I going to do that? Okay, I need a very extensive form, but not so extensive that people never fill it out. And then I need those form fields to turn into a gallery so that people can click on it. But I also need to hide some information so people's personal data is not being seen by the whole group. No custom coding required. That was built into Airtable. So that's what I mean. Some of you think that way because, you've got one hand in the coaching side and one hand in the tech world, but many people don't. And so that is why it is so important for you to support channels like mine, because this is what I spend all day thinking about. As crazy as it sounds, I'm the one sitting back going, okay, this new feature release, that's cute and all, but like, how can that actually help a business owner? And is this actually helpful? So I'm always putting things through that filter, and then I'm regurgitating it to you in a way that you can understand. So hopefully that didn't blow your brains away. But if you want more information about Airtable, if you want just, I don't know, maybe 10 ways to use Airtable, anything like that, just put Airtable in the comments. Some of you may already have your systems and all of that was irrelevant. But if you want to know more, if you want me to do more of a deep dive, just put Airtable in the comments. Okay. While you're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and transition to my favorite alternative to Zoom. Why do you even need an alternative to Zoom? Most of us have Zoom fatigue. We've been using it, for the past, most people have really become power users within the last 5 years. And they're having multiple Zoom calls and Zoom webinars, throughout the week. So anything that you can do to make things more interesting, more engaging, people freaking love it. And what I love about Butter is as soon as I get on the call with whoever is on the call, I just ask them a very simple question. Oh, hey, have you used Butter before? Simple question. Is this your first time using the software? And honestly, 9 times out of 10, it is their first time. And so then we get to talk about their first impression. Like, what did you think about this? Was this easy for you? Oh, this is a tool that I've been testing. And so it actually gives me a conversation starter that removes kind of that awkwardness of meeting somebody for the first time. Now, I'm not going to be able to do all the features in Butter because I'm literally using my camera to do this live stream right now. However, I do want to show you this with the camera off, and hopefully this won't spaz out on us. So, one of the things that I love about Butter is you can bake the agenda into the interface itself so that everyone is aware of what should be happening on the meeting and how much time they have left. So if you are doing a mastermind, small group coaching, 4 to 6 people, this is a phenomenal way for you to make sure that everyone is seen, everyone is heard. Not only that, but Butter is going to create a transcript, a recording landing page, and even create some GIFs from the call when the call is done, and they call it a recap. Another thing that I love about Butter is when people hop into the waiting room, you can actually choose music. And so people are hearing lo-fi jams in my waiting room before they hop on. So that helps put people in a good mood. So they're not just like sitting there waiting to hop on your call. So those are just a few of my favorite features in Butter, and it makes it very easy for you to facilitate groups. You can also do breakout rooms, but to be honest with you, I feel like Zoom is probably a better fit if you're doing a large group environment. I would say if it's over like 25 people with the camera on, you really want to do something more like a Zoom room because people are more familiar with it. The more people you add, the more potential you have for, you know, just issues. And so Zoom is really optimized for large group calls, but especially your one-on-one discovery calls, coaching calls, all these different things. There have been so many times where I have gone back and I have looked at the recaps because I plumb forgot what I said. And I can look in the transcript and go back and say, oh, that's what we talked about. Or, oh, they asked these questions and that will be great content for my next YouTube video. That'd be great content for my next newsletter. And so recording your calls, regardless of what kind of call it is, brilliant, super helpful, great way to create content. But the fact that it's all consolidated in a Butter and you're not using, a note taker program and a meeting transcription tool and all that, you ain't gotta do all that. Even the GIFs, I've used the GIFs inside of my app to do like recaps of recordings. And so like that's the graphic that goes up instead of me having to go and make a graphic. So super freaking helpful. So I really like it. Would 50 attendees be too much on Butter? I would not put 50 people in a Butter room. Honestly, I don't think that Butter is stable enough to accommodate that many people. So I definitely, if you have a group setting like that, here's what I would say. If I had an event, and actually let me do this because I think I may turn this into content. I may not. So let me, just in case, take the branding out. Thanks for the great question, Naomi. So if I had 50 people or more on a live training call, this is what I would do. I absolutely do love Butter for one-on-ones, small group. But if I was doing a larger group, I would either choose between Zoom webinar or StreamYard on Air. If you are a member of my membership, y'all know I go hard for StreamYard on Air. The reason why is because I use the software at least once a week, most times twice a week, to do my live streams on YouTube. So that way I can consolidate my subscriptions. I can not only get a platform that will allow me to multi-stream to multiple platforms, whether it's a Facebook group, my LinkedIn, my Instagram, my YouTube, and that helps me to create content across multiple channels simultaneously. But then I can also use it for my webinars. It can send that registration email. It can send out reminders. As soon as I end the stream, it sends out the recording and I don't have to worry about it. If you want to do large group training and you're not used to a platform like StreamYard, you don't typically talk live, then I would say do the Zoom webinar because you're probably more familiar with that interface. The more familiar you are with the tool, the better it will be for everyone. Your performance will be better, your stress will be lower, people will get better outcomes. And so often, what you need to be looking for in your tech tool is not what's the fanciest, is not what everyone else is using, but what are you going to actually use on a regular basis so you can spend less time focused on the tech and more time being present and delivering value. So hands down, that's the most important thing. Absolutely love Butter, again, for one-on-one small group. But when it comes to large group, more than likely, you're going to see me in StreamYard on Air. If I absolutely have to, like the upcoming call with Canva and Flowdesk, I will be in Zoom webinar and I'll be rocking it out there. So hopefully that helps. Girl, you know I'm about to turn that into some LinkedIn content. So that's how my brain works, y'all. Okay. Love you. Grateful for you. StreamYard mini tutorial. I've got a whole playlist. So I've got at least 5 StreamYard videos right now. I even show you how to make a YouTube video using StreamYard, Canva, and Epidemic Sound. So make sure you check that out. There's pictures of me in the StreamYard shirt with the duck on it. Rock it out. Don't skip the ads. Hit the thumbs up. But I use StreamYard all the time. I will probably honestly switch my YouTube challenge to be about live streaming in StreamYard, just because I know a lot of you are not using it like I am, and it will be a lot easier for me to create that. So yeah, just a heads up, probably going to be doing that. All right, guys, we're going to hit the gas a little bit and talk about Jotform. I hope you are enjoying this. Thank you so much. So the transcription it's not a live transcription, it's a transcription after the call. So it's more meant to be like your meeting notes, where you can search. So it's not like closed captioning. So that's what I meant by the transcription with Butter. Okay. So let us quickly talk about Jotform. Got a whole deep playlist about Jotform. Jotform is one of my oldest subscriptions in my business. I go hard for Jotform, mainly because of the ability to customize, the ease that they have with building forms. You can use it absolutely for free if you have to. But you can also use my link to get 50% off your first year. So I've done some content about this, so I'm not going to talk about it, too deep. But I will say you can create an app with no code using Jotform. You can use Jotform to capture legally binding signatures, so you don't have to pay for DocuSign or anything like that. You can use Jotform to onboard clients or to book people for your podcast there's so many different applications. So because I have a playlist with like over 10 videos, I'm not going to go deep on that. But I will say most of the data that you need to capture in your business should be in a form. And the reason why you want to think in terms of forms is because it forces people to give you the information you need the first time. So you're not tracking them down because you can make fields required. And so they cannot progress the form without giving you the information in those required fields. So Jotform is my favorite form builder. Not Google Forms, not Typeform, Jotform. You can create the look of like Typeform if you want to do it one question at a time. So it's not like a full form, and that's called the card layout. And I have a video about that. So you can customize this. I mean, you can mix and match and do all the things, but I'm telling you, having some type of form builder as part of your biz ops is so important. Do not be sending emails asking for information. You should send an email with a link to a form. Everything should be a form because then you can go back 6 months from now and easily search in your form database for what you need. Grab a headshot, grab a bio, go look at the questionnaire before your coaching call, all these different things. But if you're doing it via email, it's going to be so hard for you to search for those assets. So another thing that I love about Jotform is the ability to upload files directly to the form. So how many times have you filled out a form and then had to send a headshot afterwards for whatever, speaking engagement, podcast, MV, what have you? You can do it all in one spot in Jotform. That is what I use for my workshop presenters, for my live stream guests. I get them to give me that bio, give me the headshot, give me what is the link that you want to promote. So when I go to do the marketing, I have everything in one spot, and all I'm doing, whether it's in the the DMs and Instagram or text messages or whatever, is sending them the link and saying, "Hey, can you fill out the form so that I have the info that I need to make the marketing graphics?" Okay, we're going to take a quick commercial break. So I want to tell you something behind the scenes in my business, and then we will land the plane with the other 4 tools, and it'll be super short, I promise you. Fun fact, made that in Canva. You know I did. If you are liking this so far, make sure that you like it. And speaking of Canva, best collab of my life. Let's talk about it. Tomorrow, y'all pray for me. Pray for me. Pray for me. I am going to be doing a collaborative webinar with Ryan from Canva, Don from Flowdesk, and me, the 3 of us on a call. I am responsible for the product demo section. So what we're doing today is actually helping me to remember that I can talk, I can be fun, I can teach you tech in a way you understand. So behind the scenes, why did I choose to do it this way? So I actually got the graphic. I think it was more in a square format from Ryan when we initially decided to start marketing this event happening tomorrow, 10 p.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. I said, "Hey, Ryan, do I have your permission to turn this into a carousel post? Carousels are performing really well on Instagram right now. That would be a great way for me to share it." So I went in and I took the graphic and I extended it to take up that 4x5 amount of space inside of Instagram. So this was the initial graphic that was sent my way. The second slide is the details for the actual webinar. I took this directly from Canva's landing page. I even used circles with gradients for the bullets to put the Canva colors into the bullet points, which I'm like, chef's kiss, love that. The last slide is a mini chat automation. So when people go on this post and they comment the word emails, it's going to send them the direct link to the Canva landing page so they can sign up. The reason why I did the mini chat automation is because when people comment emails, it increases the engagement on this post and it helps me to reach more people without paying for ad spend. Okay. So, yes, I could be DMing people the link to this freaking thing every single day as we lead up to this webinar, or I could even direct people from my from my email newsletter to this Instagram post. So again, I'm taking you behind the scenes. I'm telling you exactly what I'm doing. So in today's email, I always send an email the day of my live streams. As much as I know that I have loyal folks who tune in, who subscribe, who got that notification bell turned on, the email helps. So typically I'm going to send this around 6:30. It's going to have a button for you to tap and watch the live stream immediately. You can also tap on the thumbnail to go directly to the live stream. Now, if I scroll down on today's email, you will see I put the disclosure about some of the links being affiliate links. And so everything that we talk about today is linked in the email. So if you came here without looking at the email first, all of the links are also in today's email. This is why you want to be in the Bootstrap Club, because it helps make your life easier. There is the graphic. And you can see here, I took the copy from the Instagram post, created a button that says, get the registration link. And I said, comment emails on this post on Instagram to help boost engagement, and I'll send the registration link to your DMs. I will just tell my email list what the crap I'm doing. There are no secrets. I'm fully transparent with them. Help me boost engagement. Just type in emails. If you want to come, I'll send you the link through an automation. So you can use your email marketing to boost your Instagram engagement. And this is just one example of me doing that. Finally, I landed the plane with the tech tool of the week, which is Flowdesk, obviously. And, if people aren't currently using Flowdesk and would like to join, they can click on that link, try it for free, get 50% off their first year. So this is just a breakdown of my emails. You can also always click on download the app in the App Store or the Play Store to download the Bootstrap app. And so on Mondays, I keep it to 3 things: the live stream, tech tool of the week, and one other thing that I need to promote, whether it's the workshop or just something else that I'm doing. And then my Friday emails have a reminder about my work with me sessions, where I tend to share more behind the scenes about my business first, and then give some information about member news for my membership. So anyway, this is another example of utilizing email marketing software and automation to boost my social engagement, making me more valuable to brands. It's all working together. And so again, some of you think this way, others do not. If this doesn't come naturally to you, this is why you would join my content marketing membership, because this is the stuff we talk about. This is the stuff people DM me about. This is the stuff we get on calls about. And so I'm just showing you kind of the fruits of my labor, but ultimately this is what's working. All right. Doing a whole lot of talking, so I'm going to have some Clearly Canadian. We've got a great live audience. If you are just hopping in, make sure you like this. And we're going to hit the gas and talk about the last 4 tools. I'm just going to give you kind of an overview because I've done videos about them. Okay. Next one we're going to talk about is SaneBox. There are a couple of videos on the channel about SaneBox. Quite simply, SaneBox is your AI-powered inbox assistant that will automatically file your emails appropriately so you can hit inbox 0 more often. Just that simple. I filter my emails heavily. I hit inbox 0 per day. If that is not your life, if that is not your story, AI can do that for you. SaneBox is one of the best tools on the market to do that for you. The other thing that's really nice is if you use Outlook, it still works. It's not just for people with Google Workspace. So there are a couple videos on the channel about this, one of which literally walks you through step by step how to set up the AI the first time through to make sure you're filtering what you want. So if you want to try this out, do the free trial. If you choose to upgrade, you'll get $25 credit if you use my link, which will be great. You don't have to. But if that's something you struggle with, I will tell you, you not hitting inbox 0 is impacting your productivity and is extending your work week every single week. Okay. So if you, on Friday afternoon, you log off and your inbox still has thousands, hundreds, even tens of emails, you need something. And that's a great option. I just use a ton of different labels inside of Gmail, and I use a ton of filters to automatically put things in the appropriate folders. Even with my friends' newsletters, I have all their newsletters, put in the folders. And on one day, I'll click through just to check in, see what they're doing, see if there's anything helpful in there. But they're not landing in my priority inbox every single day. That's just how I roll. Again, part of how I'm able to work 20 hours a week is because I'm in deep focus mode way more often than the average person. The average person works a 40-hour work week and only gets 20 hours of work done because of all the distractions. So I am constantly looking for ways to eliminate distractions so that I can get more meaningful work done. All right. So again, if you already know Inbox Zero is not something you've experienced on a regular basis, SaneBox is an AI tool that can get you there. The last three I'm going to talk about are Dubsado, HighLevel, and that's it. Dubsado, HighLevel. I think that was it. Okay, cool. We're rocking it out. Oh, and Connectteam. Yep. Okay, those three. All right, we're going to fly through this. Connectteam, quite simply, is for those of you who have a team. Connectteam is going to help you to manage your team all in one app. I got videos about that. Time tracking for your employees. This is for people who do not work at a desk. How hard is it for people to clock in, clock out, track their time when they don't have an office to go into? So if you are managing a team, you're in construction and your folks are all over the place doing what they need to do. Connectteam is fantastic for that. You could even use Connectteam if you are running a salon, if you are any type of situation where you're not working at a typical desk. That is like their superpower, is people who are non-desk employees helping you to manage everything in one spot. Your time tracking, your scheduling, your training, your internal communication, all of that. A lot of you are solopreneurs, so that's why I didn't want to talk about this too much. But for those of you managing a team, if you're using a ton of tools to do it, this is a way to consolidate it. And if your team has less than 10 users, you can use it for free. So there is that. So definitely check out Connectteam, check out the videos on the channel about it. Same thing goes for HighLevel. HighLevel is an all-in-one tool for digital marketing. You could build your website in it. They've got tons of AI features to help you with customer communication, responding to emails, responding to chats, but it's really geared toward people who are trying to just use one marketing tool for everything. They want their scheduling, their invoicing, their website, their messaging all in one spot. So if that's something you're interested in, HighLevel is a good option. I would encourage you, before you go canceling accounts, sign up for the extended 30-day trial so that you have a whole month to decide if it's a good fit for you. Because there's so much going on in there that you want to make sure that it is well suited for how you're going to be using it before you go canceling systems you already have in place. The last tool is about your shmoney. Okay. I love using Dubsado for invoicing. It is my favorite. Getting paid is the best feeling in the world, and making it easier for people to pay is the best. So if we hop into Dubsado, one of my favorite things about this software is a very simple feature called recurring invoices. If I set up a recurring invoice for people on a payment plan, not only will the software automatically invoice them, they can save their card so it will automatically pay their invoice on time. My friends, invoices paid is the best feeling in the world. And if you are chasing your money down and you don't have a system in place for a way to easily, I'm telling you, if you take more than, I would say, 3 to 5 minutes to make an invoice, because you can put packages into Dubsado and just drop those in. If you are taking more than 3 to 5 minutes to invoice your customers, you need a software like Dubsado. Honeybook is another option. I'm telling you, it will change your business. I have been paid in full for things I'm doing in 2026 because I have this software. I have received tips on an invoice because Dubsado has that feature. Okay. So having these systems in place will immediately increase the time it takes for you to get paid, and in some places, how much you get paid, because it allows people to tip. So, oh my gosh, y'all, I did it. It is 10:59. We talked about 8 tools. Don't say I ain't never done nothing for you. Don't say it. Just don't even say it. If there are tools that you want to see deep dive tutorials on that aren't already on the channel, so make sure you look on the channel first. Let me know in the comments. of course, you can always like it. And honestly, let me put this back up there. If you were like, girl, you did the most, and I'm so grateful for you, and I just want to buy you a coffee, I could use some caffeine, my friends. So feel free to buy me a coffee. I'm not kidding. Please say a prayer for me tomorrow. It's a big freaking deal for me to be the only educator who is owning their own business on this call. I'm both a Flowdesk partner and a Canva verified assistant expert. So I am just like, this is crazy. I'm kind of nervous about it. I'm gonna be real with you. So to see names I recognize in the comments would mean the world to me. So if you are free, especially if you can come live, head over to my Instagram, comment emails. I'll send you the link through automation. And yeah, we'll have a good time tomorrow. We'll be in a different place. We won't be on YouTube. We'll be in a Zoom call, but it'll be a great time. So, as we like to say on the channel, until next time, ta-ta for now.